Hello, Guru Nation. Welcome to another episode. It's Labor Day. Guys and gals, we don't take days off, okay? It's just some days you work more than others, but it's nothing off. What's off hasn't been off for a long time. But today I got a very, very special guest. This person, Adewale Alao, who you see right here, he's a senior clinical research coordinator at Mount Sinai in New York City, in Manhattan. But prior to that, and still has helped with the CRA Academy tremendously when it comes to the uh, Adewale. I guess this is a good way to introduce yourself. Do we give real breast cancer study to our interns to monitor? It's not pretend.
So Dan, first of all, let me just say a big thank you for having me on today. You know, me and you've been going back and forth on
Yes.
how we're gonna do this
Thank you
podcast
to
today.
you.
We're gonna
Thank you
go
to
yes,
you.
it is stuff like that. Um, First of all, let me start with this. See this
Thank
right
you,
here?
man.
You see this right here? A lot of people who wants to talk to me about clinical research, the first thing I tell them is like, go get this first. This is a very good way to start. Get this, start with it, and sky's the limit. So my name is Adewale Alao, just like you said. I can remember how myself and you met on the phone, over the phone, talking about how I want to start, helping with the interns and all this stuff.
Oh,
And
that's right. I remembered. Yeah, yeah.
remember, we was going to talk about that, right?
Well, I forgot, so I'm gonna throw this in. Before there was a YouTube membership, which is gonna be the best $10 a month you ever spend,
Yeah.
right? There was a Patreon. Now it's even easier because it's on YouTube. You don't even need to leave where you are right now. Just click join. Adewale was on there, so I talked to everybody who's on there one on one, and then we also do the Zoom calls. And he was like, "Hey, man, I really am ambitious. I'm a business person. I'm in healthcare. I want to get into research." So then I was like, "Dude, thank you so much. You seem like a very competent person." It took like two or three conversations. And I was like, you know what? Let's try it because I have all these interns sending me their monitoring reports. It would be helpful if I had somebody doing that with me and Jeslyn because we got our hands full. You stepped right in, super professional. You
Yep.
learned the protocol like in a week. You
Yep.
learned the protocol.
Yep.
You learned
Yep.
a monitoring report. Just why don't you talk about that? How was that process?
Listen, when I saw that protocol, I was reading that like a Bible because I really wanted to get into that breast cancer, so quickly so that I can help people out there and especially help DSCS, with the report and all the stuff. And just for the question that you asked me, that was a live report right there that we're doing. So I need people to understand that if you're in this academy, you are actually getting to a live study. And everything that all you just need to just to work hard. Just do what you got to do, work hard, write the extensive report. We review it, we give you a positive feedback. If we got to give you feedback, we'll give you feedback. We'll give you always a positive feedback. And all we just got to do is just to let you know and just to find a way to just make you do better. And just go out there, kill the interview, do your thing, become whoever you want to become.
You
Sky's
said
the
it
limit.
right there. Hard work. All you gotta do is work hard. It's like exercise. All you gotta do is get on the bike and eat well, and you're gonna be in good shape. Easier said than done. But unlike our competitor, we're the only place that I'm aware of, maybe there's one that exists, that has not only the course, but the real life internship, like actual monitor. You're gonna do remote monitoring. You giving your report to me, Jeslyn, and Ade. Then we're reviewing it, all of us, and then I'm doing your resume, and then you could go interview with Mount Sinai or wherever else you're gonna go interview and get hired. That's
So
the goal.
so then here's the good part of it because I know of some couple of people out there who are doing like the training for folks out there to get into clinical research and stuff like that. I have never seen anything like your academy. Like it's just different. It's different. A lot of people have approached me about it. They want to get into it, and I've advised them like, hey, all you just got to do is just remember there's somebody who texted you one time that they want to get into it and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And everybody came back and give me a good feedback and stuff like that. And people are getting jobs out there because the
Yes.
reason why they're getting this job is because you're actually doing the live report, and that is going to help you with your interview process. Because one thing people don't know is like something that you've never done, there's no way you can understand it, and there's no way you can do interview and pass it. Because listen, everybody that interviews you, they understand. They know if you don't know it. But if you've
Yeah.
really, really done it, they know you've done it. And that goes right there.
Yeah. Just saying on my I told students who've taken our class, take your report with you. I don't care if it's on Zoom. Bring your report with you and read it to them. Look, this is what I've been doing. Like, this is what I'm working on. I'm going through a monitoring report. I can't give you the details, but this is the process that I'm going through. That alone, okay, nobody else who they're going to interview is doing this. Nobody. I could almost guarantee you nobody's doing that. But thank you for the kind words, Ade, for the academy, for myself. But enough about me. How does somebody like you, Ade, okay, we want to know your story. How does someone like you even think to reach out to me and say, hey, man, I want to, like, there's something there with you. And I know the other people watching are similar. How and why did you want to get into research?
That's a very good question, Dan. And this story actually goes way back into when I wanted to get back into clinical research. And the first thing that I did was I went on YouTube and I was just searching and I was just looking into like, okay, what's going on with, clinical research out there? The first person that came was you. Then I'm like, I'm just read about this guy. Let me just give it a chance. Then I was listening to your podcast. I'm like, this man is really knowledgeable. Like, he knows what he's talking about. So I started listening to a lot of your podcast, and and in my mind, something tells me like this is somebody I need to know. So the first thing I started doing was like, leaving comments because I was looking for a way to just get through you, like not through you, but get into you knowing me. So I started leaving comments, and the good thing about you is like every comment you're gonna respond back. You're always gonna respond back. I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. The next thing I did, it was because I know you always leave your phone number, like, hey, ask me questions and stuff like that. Then I said, I still have that text in my phone. The first text that I sent to you is still right here. And I sent you that text because I was asking about IMVs and some couple of stuff, and you responded back right there. And I'm like, okay. Then here goes the Patreon membership. The first day I saw this, I'm like, I'm signing up right now. This is a good opportunity to get into this, man. So I signed up, and we started, conversation and stuff like that. Then I found out there's another upgrade that you actually make calls to people once in a month. I'm like, oh, here you go. Now I'm able to speak with this man. So I upgraded to that. Then we started talking, and that's how I finally get
But
hold.
your pitch was like different than others, and I want to get into that because I think others can benefit from that. So your pitch was not about, it was a little bit about what you need. You need that, but it was more about how you can help me. And you were telling me about your project management background and how you've basically looked at things like process like a monitoring report. Obviously not in research, but you were looking at similar process.
Right,
And so you were like immediately you were able to find what I needed help with just
right,
a little bit of conversation. I think that skill that you
right,
have, a
right,
lot of people don't. I think a lot of people can do it. It's not a difficult thing to do,
right.
but
So Dan,
it's you do it well. I don't know how. Can you help people?
the skill came from watching your video because I remember, one of the video that I watched, and you was talking about, hey, the only way you can get get what you want is if you offer them what you can do for them. Offer them how you can help them. For example, somebody who wants to get into clinical research, you're looking for sites around you and, offering to like, you know what, hey, I can help with the recruitment. I can help with the, I can do a free internship with you and stuff like that. You just have to find something that they really need, and you just have to say that to them. And that's going to, like give them like, okay, all right, we might like to work with you. And that's what I did. Because I'm looking like, okay, here's how I can help you down here. We could look for some, doctors over here and just, I was actually talking to you about let's bring CRE Academic down here, if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
I was saying like, let's just bring it down there. I was just giving some, kind of skills that I have in my head, and I'm like, you know what? How can I work with you to just, get something down there that can help a lot of people out there? And that's what that thought actually interested you. Like, okay, I think he wants to do some kind of business with me.
You see, and people need to understand this because I was like this in the past too. I learned this in my 20s, but I still, before that, I was like, okay, I need to talk to as many people about what I need and how they can help me. And that's not going to get you far. What's going to get you far is you talking to a lot of people about how you can help them without having them even think. And that was the difference between you and like others. And not only that, not only did you say the right thing, when we give you the chance, you actually did it. You're like reviewing the reports. No students are not complaining. They're liking the feedback. So I was like, all right, this guy did what he said he was going to do. And you're still helping us out. I thank you so much. Now you're busy. You're still helping us out, but which is very appreciated, by the way, for the CRA Academy. And a few CRA students going to know who you are. More should, because more need to be doing their reports, man. These monthly calls now with the students are about motivating them to do their reports because people are afraid of failure. But that's a whole nother topic. People are afraid. I said, look, just send me your report. I don't care. Send it. You're going to get feedback. Still only like 30% send the report. We have to beg until they send it. And then we have like 50, 60%. But that's a good skill. So how do you recommend to somebody else watching right now? Like, hey, I want to get into clinical research. I live in Kansas City. I want to do what Adewale did. How do I do that? I don't have a Mount Sinai here. What can I do? What do you recommend to them?
So, like I said, first of all, just go look for that video on the YouTube. That is going to be a great start. And I was showing your book. Go get that book. That book is going to set you up. And I don't know if you remember, I sent you a text message sometimes ago, how people feel about the book. Like, if you don't have, the book is just good for two people. Somebody who's just planning to get into clinical research or thinking to get into clinical research. Somebody who has been in clinical research. So both of you can really get, I've read that book like 2-3 times.
Wow.
And I still keep reading it. Like when I'm in the train going to work, I'm just gonna, keep that book, and before you know, I'm already at work. So I never got tired of it because I'm, picking up something in that book every day. So what I'm gonna recommend is that I need people to go out there, get this book, go in there, search for Dan video, leave a comment, hit the likes, hit those bells, like just do everything that you can to, make Dan understand that you are listening to this podcast, you are reading this book, you're doing all these things. And another thing that I recommend for people is to go, there's a video they actually did with Ashley Margot, if you remember that.
Oh, we love Ashley Margot.
That's the how to create your resume, using LinkedIn, or how to create your resume and how to use the LinkedIn profile to do all that. That is another, very good video that can help a lot of people out there. So
Ashley Margot, that's gold.
And people need to work hard. You need to be able to work hard. I know you sent me a lot of report that I was blessed to give back feedback on those report. And some people working very hard. Some people still need to put some more work into it. And I just felt like just put some work in it.
Yeah.
Put some work in it. That's gonna help.
The work is the work, the struggle is what makes the opportunity happen. I mean, that's where growth comes from. Struggle, it doesn't come easy. Just because you pay for a class doesn't mean it's gonna come easy. It's just
Absolutely.
we make the process easier, but it doesn't come easy. So your background, so you have Keith, let's talk about the business besides Mount Sinai. I want to get into Mount Sinai and how you interviewed and all that. But let's talk about a little bit about your business, the home health service that you
Right.
have. Can you talk a little bit about that? And obviously, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
How do you translate that into clinical research? We kind of have hints of that here and there, but talk a little bit about your home health business.
Yeah. So then I've always had interest in being in the not medical field, but healthcare field. I never wanted to be a nurse. I never wanted to be a doctor. But I just still want to do something in the healthcare field, healthcare system that can still help people out there. I've worked with people with mental disability for a couple of years, and before I finally decided I was going to get into clinical research and stuff like that. But my health home care business, what actually um, prompted me to start the business was um, there was a time my mother needed an help in the house, like like aids that can help her with some. Because my mom is a little bit older, and so the agency that she has, they were not able to provide her one. So I was just calling and calling people, and I couldn't find anybody to actually help. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? I might actually start this to just change the game. I can start this to just, have people be able to like get help in one reach, one touch. And I can do this by, getting on the, Facebook, Instagram, and, just trying to have people just like you do, like just have everybody hear about me and stuff like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start this. So that is actually how I started that business. That is actually how I started it. I started it because I just want to kick those who are not willing to work hard. I want to kick them out of the business. You're not supposed to be here. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just change this game.
I
And
like
what I
that.
did was, I started going to all these patients' houses. So, for example, if somebody sent a referral, the first thing I do with my partner is like we go to their houses, we meet them personally, and let them understand this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're not gonna do. And they were actually surprised, like, wow, there was one of my patients, she was like, they actually come into my house. Like she was surprised, like nobody's ever done that. So those are the little skills that we're putting into this, and making sure we change this game. So it's a home healthcare services, and our office is in Eastland, 30 West South Eastland, and we started like 2 years now. We're doing great. Even COVID slow us down a little bit, but we're back strong, and we're doing it. We're doing it right now.
And it's related to, I mean, anything medical is related to clinical research as well. That's
So
at the end of the day what it is, right?
yeah. So what I plan is that the clinical research side, what I did is I leave that to I want to learn some couple of things, because if you remember one of the videos that you did, somebody who was being a CRA, they I'm not saying they don't understand how to start a site, but they don't really know much into what it entails in the site level.
Yeah.
So, and that is what I'm getting in Mount Sinai right now. How to start a study, how to understand IRB, modification, and all this stuff, how to create a source document, how to,
The
jump to the
basics.
bottom, and the basics of all these things. And that's what I'm, trying to learn right now. And believe me, I'm learning because of the future, because what I wanted to do with the current business that I started is to have a site. And, I'm learning all that, I'm learning it from you. I'm learning from where I'm at right now. And I believe very soon that is going to be added together, and I'm just going to make a site, and I'm not going to stop what I'm still doing right now. So
Yeah.
Just trying to be a generalist.
There's so many, that have done what you've done, and the fact that you have a business background is really what I think makes me more confident that you would be successful as a site owner than somebody who doesn't. It's one thing, like you said, to be a CRA. That's very good, but have you ever had to pay a payroll? Like, have that has nothing. That skill set has nothing to do with monitoring. That skill set has everything to do with internal fortitude, like Vince McMahon used to say from WWF. Internal fortitude. Do you have that? You don't know if you have that until you do it,
Yep,
right? Being a CRA is one thing, but you already know no matter what you do or how your company performs, you're getting that paycheck every 2 weeks.
yep,
When you work for yourself, you better make sure when your monitor come to site selection visit that they get a good feel for the place, that they're confident enough to select you, and when you do have
absolutely,
the study, that there's no issues so they don't put you on a screening hold. Because if you're put
absolutely,
on a screening hold, you know what happens? You stop
absolutely.
eating. You
Yep,
literally
yep,
stop
yep.
eating.
There's a lot. There's a lot to learn, Dan. There's a lot to learn, and that is why I always give you your flowers all the time. How you started where you're at right now, it's a lot of work. People need to understand that it's a lot of work.
I'm this is one of the reasons why I'm documenting my Yuma clinical trial, from the ground up, because I get to start
Yeah,
over again, like from ground zero. The only difference is I have knowledge how to do it, but I'm literally doing like the action, the activity. Whether I did know how to do it or not doesn't mean I still have to do it. The other day I had to carry a drug cabinet into the doctor's office.
right.
Like I haven't done that since like 2006, but I'm back to it because it's over again. There's an opportunity here, and I think there's anywhere we can get research naive patients, it's
Hmm.
an opportunity. People always ask me, where's the best place to open a clinic? I said, anywhere where you can get research naive patients,
Yep,
that's where you're going to go,
yep,
and that comes from
yep.
the doctors and the
And
physicians.
then getting a research naive patient is not a it's not an easy job like that. It's a lot of education. It's a lot of explanation. It's getting them to understand what research is.
Yeah.
So that is the most important part of it. And it's something. It's the first thing that I was telling one of my managers when we was talking. I'm like, education. Just make them understand, make them know what it is, what let them understand the basics of what we're doing, and you're absolutely right. That's the only way to get it done.
And patient centricity, what the industry
Yeah,
loves to talk about. That's another thing going against the CRAs. They don't have patient interaction ever. Unless you were a coordinator, like, and then became a CRA, you have no idea. Patient patient can just wake up one morning and say, "I don't want to come today. I don't feel
yeah,
like it," and that's it. Just
absolutely.
stop calling me, stop texting me. If I've changed my mind tomorrow, I'm gonna. I've had patients tell me this.
Oh
Don't call
yeah,
me anymore. If I want to come, I'm gonna call you. What can you do after that point, right? That's just you just gotta say, okay, well, how can I help? What's going on? Do I send an Uber? I could bring you lunch. What do you need? What
yeah.
happened? Sometimes they end up coming. You just gotta talk. You just
And
gotta
that's the
talk it out.
retention part of it. That's the retention part of it because they're two different things. You can recruit well, but you cannot retain them.
Yes. That's a whole nother. So I like what you're doing. I like how everything's aligning itself towards side ownership because you are entrepreneur. And who knows when that will be? It doesn't matter because right now the research industry needs you no matter what it is that you plan to do. And this is what I love about clinical research, especially the coordinator level.
Yeah,
It's like Grand Central Station, man. Coordinator is like Grand Central Station. You could go anywhere from there,
yeah, yeah.
anywhere. It's not like a train station in Oyster Bay. You can only go one place. It's only going to
Yeah,
take you one
a lot of
place.
people keep asking me like, how are you going from being a CRA to a coordinator? Like they keep asking all those questions, but they don't understand. Like sometimes like you want to bring yourself to a certain level where you want to learn the old things that you need to learn, which is the state that I am right now.
Generalist,
Yeah,
generalist, because now you're going to learn all aspects of it.
yep,
The monitor, you're going to understand that. So you got a bachelor in of arts in philosophy.
yeah.
No wonder you and I before the interview can talk a lot about things. And then
We're not gonna end up talking. That's gonna be a long conversation, okay?
yeah, I'm not ready to have that conversation because my YouTube will get canceled. But we won't do that right now. But then you got MBA,
Mhm.
so master. Just I have one too, actually. So and we're both. It looks like the same exact year, so we're probably the same age, also. And
We are, because I remember you was talking about, I was watching one of your videos where you was talking about your age, and you was talking about, oh, I still got more 30 something years to work right now. I was like, Dad, come on.
at least I'm a 81 baby. You must be too. You're probably 82, baby. 82. I'm a 81. I'm a 81.
You're right.
I'm right? I knew it.
Yep.
I was right.
Yep.
I knew it because I see the 2000 until 2004. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
99 until 2004. I took a year off. I was going through, man, I never talked about that. I took a year off in college. So I was 99. I was supposed to be finished in 2003.
Oh,
I took an extra year. I took a year off. I didn't know what I was gonna do, man.
I never took no year off.
I could tell, yeah, because two
I would
straight.
just
You went
finish. Yep.
2000, 2004, bachelor,
Yep.
2005, 2007. Then in the United States, you did Masters of Science at Rutgers University in
Absolutely.
healthcare analytics and Intel. That's man, you got an impressive background. And then, so when was the home health? When did you start that? Like, what year did you start that?
So that started. Which one are you talking about? You're talking about the
Your
my.
business.
Oh yeah, that was about 2 years ago. It was 2 years
Okay.
ago, and like I just said, the
Wow,
story
before
when
COVID. Before
it was
COVID.
because before COVID. So when COVID hit, everything stopped. Everything was on
Yeah.
pause. So after COVID, we just started, and I just hired some couple of people that can just take over, so I could do my thing. But at the same time, on the weekend, I just give it time to just because I just have to balance things. Because at the end of the day, I'm still gonna have to like merge, being a site owner plus that, and you already know we got a long way to
That's
go.
gonna
We're
merge
doing
well,
this.
though. That's gonna merge
It
nicely.
is.
They're gonna
It is
complement each
actually.
other. They're
It
gonna
is actually
complement each
because
other.
I'm thinking if I have that like standard and having my site and working with because even with that business I'm still working with their own personal doctors so that can still work with me trying to let people know about the site thing and so I already planned it. I already
What's it
planned how
like
it's gonna
in
work.
what's it like in New Jersey? Because I know you work at Mount Sinai in Manhattan, but in your business that you own is based in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
So what's the medical landscape like? Because Manhattan's insane to do a research site, but like New Jersey, it's a lot more practical, right? What is the landscape like for physicians? Are they all part of big groups? Are there a lot of independent doctors still around? Because that I found that challenging when I moved here. Is like I couldn't find too many independent physicians.
So Dan, believe me or not, New Jersey is really huge. A lot of people see New Jersey like because we have South Jersey, we have North, all right.
Mm, mm.
So New Jersey is huge. Most of these physicians, most of these providers, they're still working in all those hospitals, and they still have their own private practices.
So they're
And some of
independent.
they are most of them are independent. Like for
That's good.
example, you going out and see where I live at. Like there's a lot of private practices
Okay,
in different therapeutic area.
so you get the opportunity there.
So that opportunity is right here, and that's why I was talking about this with you. When we first start talking, like, hey, we got opportunities here. Let's do it.
I think you do. Yeah, I think you do. I know some sites in New York City, like Brooklyn, has a very well established psychiatric clinic owned by some Russian family. They've been doing this since I know them because they were at the first investigator meeting I was at in 2005, and they're still running it. So New York City has a lot, but I think in New Jersey, you don't hear about too many I think it's underserved. I mean, as close as it is to New York City, I think it's its own world that's somewhat
So
underserved.
but you're actually right, though. There's not too much research clinic in New Jersey. I haven't really heard of so many. And that was part of the
Yeah.
reason why I was just saying, like, hey, we could do something right here.
I don't think we
Like
have a
nobody's
single
done.
client, and we have
Yeah,
like 75 clients right now. I have to ask Chris to be sure, but I don't think we have a single client in New Jersey ever.
yeah, yeah,
Ever.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that I think you can do it.
There's none. So it's a good opportunity down here.
Yes.
I think we still. Well, you just started one, but you know,
There's something that we can consider, yeah, because and I know well, yeah, we'll definitely talk about that. So that's in the long range horizon. A lot
yeah,
of people watching are going to be interested in the interview process you went through. So let's go take off the entrepreneur hat, put on the employee hat. This video is something for everybody, guys.
I know, right?
Ade is versatile. He can go. He's like Drake. He can go rap, sing, love, gangster, whatever you want. He's versatile. There's a
don't get
reason he's.
don't get me started. Don't get me started on this new Drake album that just came out. Don't
Oh
get me
yeah, it just
started,
came out. I
okay?
didn't listen to it. I didn't listen to it yet, but I
Yeah, of course
have
I
it.
listened to it. I listened to it. I was, the funniest part of it is like one of the videos just came out, and he got Kawhi dancing on the side. I'm like, Kawhi dancing?
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard, he was dancing in
I
the
gotta
video.
see this. Oh my god!
That's
As a
so
Clipper fan, I gotta see this. That's impossible to do.
right, right,
But yeah, you are versatile. So we're gonna go from entrepreneur to employee. So
right.
the process of you, I know when I talked to you, you just wanted a job in clinical research. You were willing to do anything it took because you want to get the generalist, as much as you can under your belt. You had the project management background, you had the home health and the business background. We didn't really even talk about the project management background. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So that actually was, when yeah, I did my MBA, and that was a long time ago. I was first thinking I was gonna go into management, but along the line is when I changed my mind. Like, you know what, I got to do some couple of things, first, and I can just attach everything and just like merge everything into being a manager. Being a project manager is another different level. It's a level where you have to understand the basics of whatever project that you're managing. And that is what myself and my manager we're doing right now. There's some couple of project management classes that I took.
Oh,
And
really? Okay.
oh yeah. My son is really doing it.
Ashley Margot from Latinos in Research, she
Yeah.
wants to get Six Sigma black belt, something black belt. I was like, what are you gonna do? Karate? What's going on? She just wants to do black
I know
belt.
that's funny. I know, right? But you get a black belt, that's a whole another level, you know.
Wow.
But
It's
anyway,
beyond my level of
I
comprehension.
know,
This
right?
black
I know,
project
right?
manager, hats off the project manager. Because I know I always talk about they are the ones that have to solve problems from the sponsor, CRO, site, even patient. People don't get paid, timelines are not met, sponsor upset. Everybody goes to project manager.
Dan, you're absolutely right about this, and we have this training, and I was asking my manager some couple of questions, and most of the questions that's coming out from this project management classes is the relationship between the site and the sponsor,
Mm,
and and all the stuff, and it's really interesting because as a project manager, your skills got to be different on how to
yes.
manage both sides. The stakeholders and the sponsor. All right. So we're gonna have to do a video about this. That's a whole conversation. Talking about project manager and how to manage,
Whew,
the sponsor and the stakeholder. That
that would
that
be
that's
hot.
really that's gonna be really huge.
That'll be the next one that we drop after this.
And
But
and like I told you, I'm gonna have to bring Catherine into this because Catherine, my manager,
let's get
she's
Catherine on.
another level. She's another level.
Michelle brings on like Michelle builds great teams.
Yeah,
I gotta give Michelle her flowers. I mean,
yeah.
I met her once, but we talked several times, Zooms and interviews, and I've got texting back and forth. And for somebody who works, I know Mount Sinai is not technically or traditionally academia, but they are in that world as well as private industry sponsored world. They're in both.
Yeah.
As somebody who's at that level, for her to have the humility to even network with someone like me, I mean,
Yeah.
forget about YouTube. She does this with people with sites everywhere. Like just to
Yeah.
network with site owner, mom and pop, and you're
Yeah.
at this Mount Sinai director,
Yeah.
and you want to network with Dan and Chris in San
Yeah.
Bernardino, like at a
Yeah.
breakthrough clinical trial, because
Yeah.
you want to see how you can improve, your department. Michelle Cohen, man,
She's
she
great.
deserve her flowers while
She's
she's
great.
here.
She's great. She's great. One time I was talking to my manager about me wanting to take these classes. I want to do this. I want to do that. And my manager was like, "You want to do a lot of things." I'm like, "I want to learn as much as I can." So
Yeah.
I think she just run that by Michelle, and Michelle was like, "You know, Wally wanted to have his own site later in future, so let him get it. Let him do
Wow,
it. Let him
Michelle.
do it."
Mi-
She's a good person.
for somebody like that to be, those are the kind of directors we need. Like,
Yeah.
then there's nothing wrong with this. People reach out to me on YouTube all the time asking for tips, like for themselves, how they can improve. Michelle, from day one, asked me how she can improve her department. It's like, not for her,
Yep.
just how she can improve her department. So that to
Yeah.
me was like, wow, there's actually still people like this out there, like at these
There's
big
just few
institutions.
people out there still doing stuff like that. There are just few people out there. Michelle is one of them.
That's
Trust me.
crazy. So anybody
Yeah,
associated with Michelle's department would love to interview. Um,
absolutely.
so yeah, that's a whole nother topic, the project manager and the sponsors. And you notice how, and you're at Mount Sinai. So you guys
Yeah.
like sponsors love Mount Sinai. And in a time like 2021, when there's so many studies and sites are being picky, when I tell you Adewale, this is my first study here in Yuma, Arizona, for my new site. I'm having a first SSV on Friday. I have
Okay.
0% nervous. Zero. Maybe negative. I'm almost negative. I actually don't really want this study. It's difficult. So I'm like, kind of want reason that they don't give it to us. I'm like
Right.
negative nervousness, right?
Mhm.
Why? Not because I'm cool or anything like that. It's
Right.
because
Right.
there's so many studies right now.
Yep.
So many studies. So
Yep.
all the sponsors, you were talking about sponsor site relationship. All the sponsors who back in 2012 when the market was favorable for sponsors and all the sites came to the sponsor begging for studies, now the tables are turned. Sponsors begging for sites. This is perfect example of how things go in cycles, and you got to be careful about how you treat people that you come across because
Yeah.
later they become directors of places.
Absolutely.
5 years is not that long.
I agree. I agree with you on that. Places like Mount Sinai has, you know, more than 100 therapeutic studies going on. You know, and just like you said, their whole there are many sponsors that Mount Sinai is dealing with. Even including my own personal study that we're doing right now, including the COVID study and stuff like that. So Mount Sinai is just huge.
It's a big name.
It's just huge, a big name, and
It's a big name. When these biotechs that are publicly traded that I review, when they add a Mount Sinai to their sites, that's a press release for the biotech. Company so and so just added Mount Sinai as a site for their latest study. The stock goes up like 2% from that news. I'm telling you, Mount Sinai's like they're able to do that. So for
oh
somebody like
yeah,
Michelle in that situation is still humble enough to want to like learn and deal with the regular people like me. That's amazing.
that is huge, Dan. That is really really huge, and it's for real. That's a fact. Huge. You
Yeah.
know.
So how long you been there?
Um, it's gonna be about 4 months right now.
Okay, so it's
About four.
right now it's August. Oh no, right now it's September
Yeah.
2021. So
Yeah.
yeah, so over there I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and you're definitely gonna learn a whole lot. And
Oh
you've been
yeah.
seeing other academy, CRA Academy, CRC Academy graduates from the tri-state area. go over there, and
Yep.
all
And
of
and
them love
then
it.
and then it's not stopping me from reviewing my report, giving feedback, to everyone reaching out to me and stuff like that. I'm still part of DSCS. I'm proud to say,
Yeah, I see it on your LinkedIn, man. It actually looks good. I gotta say, that logo looks good on your LinkedIn. And we're gonna have your LinkedIn profile underneath this video so that everybody can connect. You have to connect with Adewale. He's from PM to entrepreneur to coordinator at a place like Mount Sinai. You got like best of both the world on Mount Sinai. It's almost like
Yeah,
academic and because they do a lot of their own investigator initiated trial with grants, but they also do
yeah,
industry sponsored. That's a unique place,
yeah,
Mount Sinai.
yeah.
So
No fact.
that's a good. It's gonna be good to follow your career, and definitely follow like what you're gonna be able to do in the New Jersey area.
Area.
Uh,
Yep.
Underserved. I mean, people think about underserved as like small towns, but sometimes they're just places that are overshadowed by Manhattan, by New York.
Yep.
It doesn't mean it's small.
I know, right? I know, right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I know we was talking about the series of interview that went through. It was a lot, and all of these interviews were very, very interesting. Like, you having interviews and you have to learn from it and learn from the interview and stuff like that.
Oh
The
yeah.
process and everything was really great.
How did it go? So how many places you applied to? Like let's go through the failures, the rejections. Did you have any failures,
Not
rejections?
not so much then, honestly,
Wow.
because of my background and what I've the knowledge, the experience that I had. Um, it wasn't that bad. I remember, it was me and you just talking that day and was like, let's just give this a tryout. And we just, sent out the resume like, okay, this is what I wanted to do. So with the experience and the knowledge that I have, it wasn't like too bad. But I can still give an advice to whoever is trying to like get into the same position. Is like just like I told you, like let's go watch the Ashley Margot video, which where it's like an hour and 20 minutes video, an hour and 20 minutes long video where she was explaining how you can work on your resume, how you can actually create your resume, how you can actually create your email. There's a way you can set up your email to send it out to employers, and they're gonna be like, "You're different," and how you can actually, network on a LinkedIn, you
Yeah.
know. So those are the things that someone just got to put together.
Did
And
you did you follow her advice?
oh yes, I actually
Yeah.
did. I
Wow.
actually did, and that really helped.
Yeah,
And that really helped.
Ashley's amazing. Give her flowers while she's here too. That girl is like brings a level of organization like no other to Latinos in clinical research.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, her things on how to write your resume and your emails, and it's gold. How to link it all together,
yep,
it's gold.
yep,
And I'm seeing your LinkedIn now, and it does look like you were able to put some of her advice to you. So yeah, everybody, I agree with Ade. Go watch those. Go
yep.
watch that video with Ashley. Anything else for the job seekers?
I mean, I just never give up. I encourage anyone not to ever give up. I encourage everyone to always put hard work. Like just put work into it. You might get denials. Um, it's always gonna happen. You might send your resume out there to some people that never responded back. A lot of people just gonna be like, you know what, I can't do it. Never
Mm.
say you can't do it. Just keep doing it. I remember out of some of your videos that you've done in the past, like just throw like 10, 20 out in a day. Keep throwing it out. Get
Yeah.
rejection, do interviews. Interviews actually really when you do more interviews, it actually teach you how to do interviews. So for example, you have an interview and it didn't go well, whatever you got wrong in there or something you didn't get right, you could actually just go back and just like, you know what, I can do well here. And just teach yourself, groom yourself, and just do it again. I did that
Mm.
in the past. Like I'm gonna have an interview and I'm just gonna record it. And I want to
Mm.
listen back to myself, like, okay, let me just hear what I did. And now I'm like, oh, I didn't do well here. Okay, I'm gonna try it again. So that will encourage people to do the same. Just ensure that you learn from your mistake and just keep doing it. Just keep going, keep going, keep going.
I think that
And
resiliency that we share, it didn't come by accident. It's from years of working for yourself. This is,
yeah,
one of the things people don't talk about a lot is the independent contractor or the people even in another industry like you. I mean, you're still in healthcare, but like let's say you're an entrepreneur in a completely different industry. The fact that you are an entrepreneur, you're developing resiliency. So to you, you're already used to no. When you have a business, you get a lot more no's than yes. I'll tell you that. It's
absolutely.
at least 10 to 1, sometimes 100 to 1.
Yeah,
So you're used to it. But when you've never been in that situation and you're an employee looking for jobs and you hear no, no, no 3, 4 times in a row,
right,
you're gonna be depressed. You're gonna
right,
go, in your room and not come out. Listen to
right.
Drake for a day, his sad song, the sad songs of Drake. That's what you're gonna do. And you have to have this resiliency muscle. So you either have to have some kind of entrepreneurial experience,
hmm
or this is probably more practical for people listening, treat
Yeah,
your own career like your own business.
yep,
Start thinking about it. If what do you mean you don't have a website? You don't have an Instagram? You don't have a LinkedIn? Those are your website for
yep,
what employers look at,
yep,
especially your LinkedIn.
yep, yep. Your
So,
destiny
man,
is in your hand. Your destiny is in your hand, and you just have to, know how to use it. Like hold it tight and make sure you're not giving up on anything. You're doing it for yourself, so why not?
and you develop that resiliency not just in the business, which is a tough business to be in, the home health agency, but
Yeah,
also the fact that you did it and then COVID came right after.
yeah.
So you had like a double punch in the gut.
You already know. Ordinary person would have given up, like, no, I can't do it. I already started, my payroll and everything, and everything would just look like it was crumbling. But the fact is, if you have an interest in whatever you're doing, and people always say whatever you can do, for free is something that you could do to make millions out of it. It's the same thing as clinical research. The
Yeah.
first time that I met you, I remember I told you that, Dan, I want to do it for free. I want whatever you need me to do, just let me start over here. Let's get into it. I'll do it for free. And you was like, you know what? Let's do it. So that's just what it is. Be ready to do it for free. Be ready to give it all. Don't be too selfish when it comes to this. So, and sky's the limit.
That is what one of the things that got me as well. So look, guys, everybody go network with Ade, especially if you're in the tri-state area. What's wrong with you if you're not? His LinkedIn is right underneath the video. It's also, if you're listening, shout out to all the listeners out there on iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher. You got a lot of places that you can listen to. Drake. I mean, we're competing with Drake right now. Did somebody say, should I listen to these two guys or Drake? I think you're better off listening to us. My opinion, you're better off. But we appreciate you guys. So thank you so much for checking this out. And
Always,
Ade,
always,
we're gonna
always,
do part
always,
2, 3. I liked your idea of
always.
site sponsor relationship, and I liked your idea of project management. Let's do a
hmm
video where we can honor the project managers
We are.
in the industry. If you have anyone at Mount Sinai who's a PM, I would love to interview them. We got to give them more credit because I don't know
Yep.
how they do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll do that. And just like I told you, like I'm going to talk to my manager about this, and I really need her to come on the podcast. She has a lot to give. She has a lot of energy. She's smart, diligent. She's somebody who never gives up, and just wake up every morning just wanted to just make a change. That's who she is. So I
And
got you on that one.
this is okay. Good, good, good. We appreciate it. So thank you so much, Ade. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. If you don't know what to comment, put a robot emoji. It helps with the algorithms. And then again, go follow Adewale right now. And we'll catch y'all later. Thank you, Adewale.
No problem.